Full court, we roll, game on, take control. Full court, we roll, game on, take control. Randy in the mix, you know it's a fix. Coach Ed rips, strategies to blitz. Man-Cave vibes, never throwing it down. Fast breaks and swerves, rhythms in town. City lights shining, crowd on the rides. East Coast beat, feel the verse surprise. Dribbling dreams, hustle hard, no regrets. Welcome to the court, it's your move, place bets. Neck diff Randy got the crowd so hyped. Coach that guy and every play's in sight. From the block to the three, every shot's on point. Man-Cave energy, we ain't gonna disappoint.
Oh, but I know really, I still just feed and you better use it. Until we get problematic, the lights are wide across to break my love.
What's going on, everyone? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Full Court Press. It's me, Coach Ed, with my co-host, TheMan-Cave, and our special guest today, Leaf Diggy. We're coming today to talk to you about the WNBA. We got mad love for the W, man. A lot going on, so we ready to get into it. So, but before I do that, what's up, Cave? How you feeling today, man?
I'm feeling good, man. You know, I'm feeling good. You know why I'm feeling good? Today could be a closeout game for us, so I'm feeling good, man. You know, so it's all good. But it's all about the women right now. You know what I'm saying? The WNBA season's is right around the corner, another week or 2 weeks or something like that. And hey, man, we ready to defend this crown, man. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be tough. You know, before we was, like I told you before, we was the hunters. Now we the hunted. So you know what I'm saying? We got to come out ready. You know what I'm saying, for combat. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, you got what, next Thursday or Friday? Next Friday.
Yeah.
Next Friday, the 1st. You got the preseason starting. So, I'm going to touch on that in a little bit. But before I do that, Leaf, what's up, man? Talk to me. How you doing, man?
It's officially allergy season for me a little bit, man. So I'm all nasaled and congested up, whatever. But I'm in here, man. Just coming off a good NFL draft out in Green Bay. I should have been there. I really wanted to make it. I looked that draft board was pretty good, but I'm definitely looking forward to supporting the last New York team that I'm ever going to support. And that's the New York Liberty. They made me very proud this past year, winning it for the first time in their 28-year history, and hoping that they could make another run with it with Jaquel and Sabrina and the girls, man. I hope they can make another run in it. So that's what I'm here for.
All right. So what's up, our cool man? Thank you for tapping in, man. Yeah, I know. You know what? We could talk hours about that. You know, that's just a physical series, because to be honest with you, you can make arguments either way. I mean, there's a lot of fouls from Detroit and for the Knicks, but this we're gonna focus on the ladies. So, you know, that's what we're gonna dive into. So, the first thing that I want to get into is right now, which we just talked about. Training camp is started up, and you know, you got questions, you know, about training camp with each of the teams. I know I sent you guys a little article from ESPN. Were you able to take a look at that in terms of the rosters? All right. So what is your biggest take in terms of the teams? It doesn't have to be any. It doesn't have to be the Liberty. It could be any team. What do you think is the biggest take for a particular team with training camp starting?
Wow. Biggest take I could say is that it's probably gonna be a lot of new teams in the playoffs as opposed from the previous year. I mean, you've seen a hell of a lot of roster reconstruction. You got some new faces in some new places. You got some players coming back. Chicago Sky, they shook up things, man. When they added some shooting to go with Camilla and Angel. Obviously the Liberty are running back with most if not all the same team that they have. There's a new regime in Phoenix. There's no Diana Taurasi. There's no Brittany Griner. It's an absolute new regime. Miss Cooper is going to have to stand and hold on hard.
Leah Copper, Satu Sabli,
Yeah, definitely. There's a new regime in Dallas. With the number 1 overall pick, Miss Paige Beckers. She's in the backcourt. Projected to be with Arike, one of the best scorers in the league. And I think they got rid of Sabali. Sabali is elsewhere. Hugh Lloyd is with the Aces, with the best player in the league, and Asia Wilson. So, man, if I had to say, there's probably going to be a new set of teams to make the playoffs this year and compete in the playoffs this year. I mean, I could arguably say probably whoever wasn't in last year will probably get in this year. If I had to say, so, I mean,
okay, that's going to be interesting. So, because who was it? It was Washington. It was who am I missing? Washington. Last year's squads were Atlanta made it, Chicago made it, Connecticut made it, Dallas didn't make it because they ended up number 1 overall. So Dallas. The Valkyries, they're new.
Is there any chance that the new the expansion team can make it?
Well, you know what? No, here because I was going to talk about them a little bit later, but let's talk about them now, okay?
Yeah.
Because what they're talking about, their season opener is May the 16th against the Los Angeles. Their projected starting lineup is Julie Van Loo, Tiffany Hayes, Kayla Thornton. Oh, that hurts. That hurt. Monique Billings and Temi Benley. You know,
something like that. Yeah.
The thing is, you know, with the new draft picks, Justice Josti, Cheyenne Sellers, and Caitlin Chen, you know, they were drafted, so you know they're going to be coming into battle for a spot. You know, but everything is new with them. They don't have an identity. You know, you also have Kate Morton there, so she's starting to be a vocal leader right off the bat for their organization. So it depends on how they gel. I mean, you know, if we take a look at their roster, let me pull their roster.
I'm about to say who's on the bench and coming off.
The Valkyries with their roster. Right now in training camp, they have Letice Emiher, Chloe Bibby, Monique Billings, Veronica Burton, I know who she is, Caitlin Chen, Elisa Kunane, Temi, Tiffany Hayes, I spoke to you about Justice, Carly Leite, Kiara Linskins, Kate Martin, Janelle Sulin, Cheyenne, Stephanie Talbert. They have a lot of players. Kayla Thornton, Bignaya Torre, Julie Van Loo, and Cecilia Zanelinsky. She was with Minnesota last year. So, the thing with them is it's going to be how they gel. That's going to be their biggest thing, man. What's up, Rainer? Thanks for tapping in, man. I really appreciate it. But yeah, it's going to be how they gel because they have a mixture of young players and veteran players. You know, everything though just falls back to them being a new organization and how do they adapt into the WNBA. I mean, you know, Cave, what's your thoughts on that?
I'm gonna say this, man. To tell you the truth, I think they was dealt a bad hand as for an expansion team. Usually, when an expansion team comes into the league, they give them good players from other teams, like, you know what I'm saying, or they give them the first pick in the draft to set themselves up nicely. They didn't do them any justice. This team is just thrown together. It's just a bunch of throw around players on here, man, for an expansion team. And I'm not. And they like I said, they have a hard way to go. And what was the pick they had in the draft? This year's draft was a second.
I think they were 5th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, man. I don't seen expansion teams in different sports like NBA and also, and they set them up nicely with some good players and also a high draft pick or something like that. And when I seen this, I was like, man, they don't have no really star player on this team at all. You know, even from somebody's team, I know some players, I know teams protect their good players and something, but I was like, come on, man, they could have got one good player, like somebody from off some other team. Let's say like a Kelsey Plum, or just some one of those. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they was done what you call it. So this season, going into the season, they're gonna have a hard time, man. They definitely gonna get like one of the top picks coming up next year. I could see that already because, like I said, this team is just thrown together.
Yeah, I mean that's the one thing that they do in the W with the team with the new expansion teams. They don't give them the number one overall. You would think you're coming in brand new. You want to also sell that market, so you know it would make sense for them to get the number one overall draft pick. I mean, Leaf, what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, my mic was muted. Oh yeah. I'm looking up and down today roster. Yeah, yeah, it looked like they might have been dealt a bad hand. This is just if they did this expansion draft anything like they did with the Raptors and the Grizzlies in '95 or whatever, man. Like I'm like this, they probably would have looked a little bit better. I mean, I see some names that I recognize: Caitlin Thornton, Selena, a couple other veterans, but just it looked like this team might have been just thrown together. Just for right now. They probably might need a couple of years to get a set player out of the draft. They could be looking at Juju, possibly. I mean, like that's a team that could be looking at Juju in the future. And if they get to set number one pick, because everybody knows Juju probably gonna be picked first, the next first pick out of the draft. Coming soon. Looking for her to make a speedy recovery, by the way. And yeah, but if I had to say, it looked like this team might have been just thrown together, like just for the 1 year inaugural season. All right, y'all gonna get the hell beat out of you. So get ready.
Right.
You know what? You're right because I'm reading this article. Kendra Andrews wrote, and she said, Sunday was their first day together as an entire roster, and that means the coaching staff, the front office. As well as the players all in a shared room all at once. So that you're right. That's a lot right there. You're trying to set a culture. You're trying to familiarize yourself in a sense. Because once you've been in a locker room, you know where everything is. You know where the offices are, the weight room, all that stuff. So where everything is. So yeah, you're right about that. What's up, Daniel Barry? Thank you for tapping in, brother. Appreciate you. What's up, apartment gamer? Thanks for being.
That's my man Scott, man. What's going on?
All right.
Shout out my man Scott.
Also, everyone, if you're do us a big favor, make sure you go to each channel because all the descriptions is in the all the information in the description. Throw your information in the chat too, so everyone can have that. Make sure you guys go hit a like there. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to everyone. To my man, it's not
halftime Philly. It's
the Man-Cave. No, I was thinking Randy. I was sitting
Randy.
To Cave, to Leaf, to the Aboriginal Sports Network, to Hardcore Sports Network. Make sure you subscribe to everyone. There's always some great content. Get us out there into the algorithm. Keep growing our respective channels. Subscribe, hit the notification so you know when we post new content, and share on all your social media platforms, man. We really appreciate it. So happy Tuesday to you, Daniel. So but yeah, getting back to the Valkyries, man. When you familiarize yourself and you know where everything is, you're really able to set your culture and to get into a rhythm and basically go from there. So you guys are right. They were dealt a tough hand. So the initial question is, do we think they can make the playoffs? I think we're all in agreement that no, we don't think they can make the playoffs. Not the first year. What's up, Irvin? Thanks for tapping in. But I'm interested to see what they're going to do. I mean, because that's going to tell me everything. Because you know what, Leaf, that's a good point about Juju. Because technically she can come out after next year if she's
Mhm.
back in time. So, and
Mhm.
we all agree she would be the number one overall. Also, um, um,
Absolutely.
Yes.
so and being in, she's from California.
Herb, man, what's going on?
Yeah, that would have been great for them for
Yeah,
California.
that would be great
Yeah,
for her.
that.
I mean, is she right back at home? Listen,
Hmm.
she familiar with everything. And they'll be right in what the Chase Center, I believe. That's
Yeah.
what they're gonna be playing.
Yeah,
Where the
they're
Warriors
So
play.
I
Yep.
mean,
Where
the
the Warriors
Warriors
play.
play.
yeah, with the
Yeah.
Warriors play. So I mean, yeah.
So
So
Oh yeah.
that'll be that'll be great. I see. I'm looking forward to next year. With this new expansion
well,
team already. I
Right.
mean, this year ain't even started. You know what I'm saying? So,
it's you know what? They actually will have a choice of two players from California because don't forget about Bez from
Bets.
UCLA.
Bets. Let's
Yeah.
bet.
So, even if Juju, because we don't know when she's going to hit the court. That's the first thing, because she's dealing with that injury and it happened during the tournament. So, so will she be able to play the season? That's the first thing. But, if
right.
not, it'll be Betts. And, she's from California too. So, playing right there at UCLA. So, I mean, things
What
go according to plan.
what about the transfer from South Carolina, from Florida State? She coming out. The girl who just transferred there, the leading scorer, Lanaya. I forgot her name.
Yeah.
She just transferred to South Carolina from Florida State. She was the number one scorer in college
I'd
basketball.
have to look at because they can only come
Latina
out after,
something.
yeah, they
Right.
can only come out after 3 years.
I think it should be
So
a
it's
third year.
yeah, if it's her third year, she's able to come out if she wants to, or she can come back for her last year. So, but I got to look at because I don't know
But then we
specifically.
got to remember too the Neil deal, man. They get pay more money in college, so they
Yeah,
might stay. That's the whole thing with the women's game. They might stay for more money.
Yeah, they
it's
might stay for
that.
more money.
You also see what's happening with the Unrivaled because Paige, her 1 year is more
Mm,
than her full 4 year with the W. So
right.
Right.
you,
Tanaya Latson, that's her name.
That's
Tanaya
her name.
Latson.
Right. Right.
Yeah. From
what's
SFU. She was averaging 25 a game on last year.
how many year what year is she in?
She is in what is she in? She's gonna be a senior coming up
Okay,
this
so
season.
yeah, yeah, there it is. So it and now again it depends on who has the number one and what their needs are. So
Hmm.
I mean we have to look at the Valkyries. Do they gel? Do they have the scoring? Or because if not, it might be they might end up needing a score. Uh, so you put your Knicks fitted.
Herb, I don't own the Knicks fitted, bro. See,
He does.
you
Look,
did the wrong thing. No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't own
hey,
anything on or blue.
yeah,
That's not
everyone,
mine.
let's focus on
I know, man.
the ladies, man. Let's keep it on the ladies. We
Oh,
love
Yeah,
the
let's do
ladies
that.
here. So
and next year, aren't they supposed to get two
I,
more new WNBA teams? Is it
yeah,
next year?
no, it's no
yeah, I think
one.
so.
I
I
think
think they're supposed to get
no.
Toronto and Portland.
Is
No, I
it
think is it two of them
one?
or is it one after the other? I think it's one after the other.
It might be one or it
No,
might be two.
I know Toronto is next year, and I think Portland is year after next.
So they got to keep
Right.
adding these. They got to make them even some way or another, I guess.
Yeah, well, right now, even with the two new teams, when they finally come out, it's going to be It's going to be no, we're at 13 now. It'll be 15. So,
Mm.
who's going to be the 16th team? So,
Is it
you know,
so it's 13 right now? Okay, because I
yeah,
know they were talking about Detroit at one time getting another team, or
hmm
Cleveland or Detroit, one of them getting a team
I
back.
think it's Cleveland, Detroit, and
Toronto,
is
I
it
know Toronto definitely getting.
Philly? Did they say Philly or they were mentioning Philly
I think they
possibly getting
mentioned
one?
Philly, but I think Portland one of them too.
Portland was definitely one of them.
Toronto, Portland. I know Toronto.
Portland and
Yeah,
Toronto was one of them. But I
yeah.
like I think it seemed to me like they're adding teams a little bit too fast to me. Well, that's something that we probably get in a little bit later. But I mean, like
Yeah.
just to get them
No,
thinking a little bit.
no, that's a good
It's
question.
I think it's needed though.
yeah,
It's needed for the roster spots because there's too many people, too many first rounders not even making roster spots because, and that's crazy. You're a first round pick and that's not even guarantee you make the
It's not
team.
getting
That's
yeah.
crazy.
that's crazy. Yeah. So I
And,
mean,
but
right now the
the
WNBA is in they basically in the early days of
But they expanded. It was
changing.
good. It's good. It's
Yeah.
good
So
for them.
but
It's good.
they definitely expanded for sure.
they're capitalizing on everything being hot right now.
Mm-hmm.
So which is good. Which is good. It opens up, and it opens up for more roster spots. There's more viewerships. The viewership is also at the college game. So that's always a beautiful thing for because I can remember when, I think we had almost 18 teams at one point. Was it 18 or 20 teams years ago? Yeah. So and now you're working your way back up to that. And if you can. And the other thing is trying to keep the ladies home, making sure economically, because that's the other thing.
Right.
Years past they used to have to go overseas. Now with the Unrivaled there, and then with the new CBA, the salaries are going to be going up. There's new TV money. So if we can keep these women home, and they don't have to go overseas. And look, I fell in love with the Unrivaled. Man, I just loved it.
Unrivaled is cool.
Yeah, so I loved it. You got to see the competition, and look, I thought the Owls were going to win it all, and lo and behold, they got knocked out by the Rose. Was it the Rose? Yeah, I think it was the Rose.
So, the Rose.
But you see the quality of the game there, and that's the thing. That's the biggest thing. People are starting to see the quality of the women's game. Yo, what's up, Leaf?
I wanted to say, so. Portland with the Portland Fire returning, that would leave 5 of the original WNBA teams from the past that has yet to come back. That will leave Cleveland, Charlotte, Houston, Sacramento, and
I forgot about Sacramento.
The Monarchs,
Miami Soul.
The Miami Soul.
Yeah, that's right. Well, there you go. I mean, if we can, start bringing those teams back. You would have a bigger roster. You would have more teams, a bigger roster of teams, and open up more spots for the young women coming from college. So and we see how they play this game, man. And we appreciate it. So, and it's good basketball. It's really good basketball. Yeah. So, but I want to get back to the question that I have up there: the training camps. Leaf, you started talking about Chicago, and I think they are one of the teams that, they have a lot going on. Their projected starting group is Courtney Vandersloot, Ariel Atkins, Michaela Onyenwere, Angel Reese, and Carmela Cardosa. And Courtney coming back there, because she started there, and she left to come to our Liberty. So and I'm liking what they did because they have great low post talent. They brought in Rebecca Allen, another former Liberty. New York Liberty. Rachel Banham, she's a vet. Who else is in there that I really know? Arella is over there. Garantes from Rutgers. She's been around. Mariah Jefferson, Kia Nurse, so they have some players. Haley Van Lith, now she's going to be learning from Courtney Vandersloot, and you see what she's done, at LSU and then over at TCU, So
don't forget Louisville.
And and Louisville, I forgot about Louisville. Elizabeth Williams is over there, so they have a good mixture of veteran leadership as well as youth. So, to your point, Leaf, they're going to be interesting. Now, Angel Reese, I'm expecting her to continue to dominate on the boards. Now if she can get some more of her offensive game going, it's going to make her that much more dangerous. And then with her and Cardosa, there's no way. And even Michelle, if those three are out there, they should be getting all the rebounds, and it should make it hard for the opposition. Whether on the offensive or the defensive end, and that should help them overall. Now, I do think losing Kennedy, what's her name, Kennedy Carter. I think there's something about her that she
brought an edge.
Yeah, the edge, that grittiness, that spark. I'm not saying they can't get it, toughness. I'm not saying they can't get it this year, but Leaf, I mean, you made a good point in terms of, watching them during this training camp. And I'm intrigued to see what they're going to do. I know my man NYG, he,
Cardoso.
Cardosa. So yeah, it's going to be,
but he also like Kelsey Mitchell. So
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So, I mean, now if everybody's, wait a minute. So this is Sky Point now healthy. Reese spent January, March developing her score. Yeah, in the unrivaled, and they both feel that they're ready to take a step forward. So, which is going to be interesting. So, I'm intrigued to see what they do, during this training camp. But what about you, Man-Cave? What's your thoughts about them as we prepare for the training camp? What do you think about Chicago?
Yeah, Chicago, like I said, their strength is going to be their interior, the size and stuff like that. I'm expecting big things from Cardoso because I know she was hurt early on in the season, so it took a little bit to get her bearings right and stuff like that. But when she's healthy, her and Angel Reese is going to be, like I said, and Elizabeth, they're going to be tough as hell on the boards. I mean, it's going to be tough sledding down there because, I mean, she got the size and she's a rim protector. So, she's going to be blocking shots. They're going to be getting rebounds and stuff like that. It's just going to be left to the guards on the Sky to do what they got to do because you could count on Reese and them getting extra rebounds, offensive rebounds and stuff like that. So that's not going to be a problem for them this season. Their problem is going to be in the backcourt and things like that. And then I got to see who's coming off the bench for them because they're going to need some bench production and stuff like that. Like I said, Kennedy Carter was a big blow because, like I said, when I watched them last year with Kennedy Carter, she had him in a lot of games. She brought him back in a lot of games. Especially after they got rid of Marina Mabry, after they traded her and stuff like that. Because Mabry was another big loss. With Mabry and Kennedy Carter, they were like the linchpins, in the backcourt for the Sky, and now they're both gone, which is kind of like, they're both gone. So we have to see how these new guards, like I said, Courtney Vandersloot is old. She's not the same Courtney Vandersloot from in the past. So, Ariel Atkins, that's the other girl, right? Ariel Atkins. She's another one. She's going to have to, bring some of that bravado, that spark and things like that. But yeah, that's their problem is going to be the backcourt this year. What I'm saying? I don't have no problem with their interior. What I'm saying? They're a year more experience with Cardoso and Reese and stuff like that. They're going to be solid there. Elizabeth Williams is she's like the vet who's like always, dependable and reliable. So I don't worry about her either. But theirs is going to be, like I said, the backcourt and that bench. How is that bench going to look? What I'm saying? So I got to look like more like who's on the roster is coming off the bench because I know the starter's going to be there, but it's like who's coming off the bench.
Two more teams I want to touch base before we move on. The Dallas Wings.
Yes.
To me, what do you think in terms of their team, this training camp? What do you think is going to be the question, in reference to Dallas? Go ahead, Cave. You can start this one.
Yeah, Dallas. I mean, I'm not gonna. Their problem, their strength is gonna be this. Is always gonna be in the backcourt, and they got even stronger now with Paige Beckers joining Arika. Arika is like she was a baller anyway. She's a stud. What I'm saying? Then they also get Isaiah James in the draft from NC State, and if people who know what Isaiah James is, she was a baller with Sanaya Rivers over there with NC State this year. So, and she came on like in her last couple of seasons and stuff like that. So she ain't scared. So I gotta look at their front court and see because they lost Satu Sabli and stuff like that.
They got Tiara McCowan.
Yeah, that's okay. She was there. Yeah.
You have let me start.
Yeah, that's the 7 foot. She's like 6'7" or something like that. She's
7. Yeah. You also have
is it Brown? Was Brown was there?
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. She's not
she
on the
gone?
team. Yeah, you got Paige Beckers, Dejanay Carrington.
Dejanay, yeah. Dejanay, that's a dog right there. Wow, Dejanay and Arika. Oh my God.
Mackenzie Ford.
That's who I wanted the liberties to get was Dejanay Carrington. Oh my God, I forgot she's on there, man. It's like, and she bring it. That defensive intensity is hellacious, man.
Aisha Hines Allen, left Minnesotans over here.
Okay, Maisha Hines Allen. Okay. Yeah,
so,
but that's what I said. The strength is going to be in the backcourt. The backcourt is the strength. Has been a backcourt anyway. With Satu Sabli when she was there, that was another strength. But Satu's gone now, so but Tiara's still there. What I'm saying. But as far as that, is like I don't know too much. I think, like I said, their strength is going to be the backcourt. They're going to have a
Yeah,
lot of
it is.
backcourt strength. And I'm coming off the bench because you can't start everybody. So if you got Carrington and Arika starting, and then you got Paige. Well, Paige is going to start too. So or Carrington on the bench with Isaiah James and stuff like that. That's where there's most of the scoring going to come from.
Maddie Seegers.
Maddie Seeger is a shooter or something like that.
Yeah, she's a shooter. What about you, Leaf? What's your thoughts?
Just that exactly. That backcourt is gonna have to be the head of the horse. You know what I'm saying? So they gonna have to with Paige and Arike. One of them is gonna have to set the floor for others. I think Paige is capable of doing that. Because with her coming from UConn, Arike is just a bucket like that. We already know she gonna shoot that damn ball. So Dejanay, now you got a defensive stopper in Dejanay. They got Hans Allen, who I liked as a bench player last year, where she was when she was a little bit of time in Minnesota with the Lynx. I think they starting to get things rolling. They got the stove on. And definitely sure, man. But it's just gonna take a while for this food to get cooking and good. But they definitely got some good ingredients. Paige Beckers as the #1 pick and Arike, that's a hell of a start. And then you add Dejanay to that as a defensive stopper and what she can do. And Hans Allen and I think they had Marina Mabry. I don't remember what.
She's not on there no more. She was never on there.
She was on Chicago and then to Connecticut.
Chicago, Connecticut. Oh yeah, my bad. So Skies, so they can take a leap this season from definitely where they was last year. I thought they got off to a bad start last year with Sabali being out, and Sabali's not there anymore. But you basically get 53 cents on the dollar with Paige Beckers. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's a good return on investment.
You guys are making some good points. And here's one thing that I'm intrigued by this because working the pick and roll with McCowan, because now that's something that you can do. They can also set up with drive and kick. Now Siegerts is out there. You know, she's deadly from outside. You know, and then and then in the same token, how do you defend McCowan if you put Beckers, Arike, and her on the strong side? How do you defend that? Because now you can't come off of that. And then you have Dejanay on the backside bringing her grit, and she will get down there and get the rebounds if she needs to. So, I'm intrigued to see how
What I would do, in terms of McCowan, I think defenses are probably going to make McCowan be the scorer as much as possible. But I mean, at the same time, it's basically like, do you want the knife or do you want the gun? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But the one thing that they don't want to happen is Arike and Paige going off simultaneously. So I think defenses is going to have to take they pick. I would guess they would probably allow McCowan to get things going because McCowan getting back on the other end, man. She's going to have to run with the younger bigs and things of that nature. But it's going to be interesting to see how defenses defend that because we know Arike can score her ass off, but Paige is probably going to be the floor setter for this team, if I had to say. But we got to see how the jambalaya get together. You know what I'm saying? So
I like that. Last one I want to talk about is the one that really shocked me is Connecticut. You know, I mean, with so much roster turnover, last week, Cave and I even talked about it, you know, with what's her name wanting out of there, and they're not, Mabry, they're not letting her go, but you sending out, Thomas, and then you lost Bonner. I mean, as well as Carrington, you lost a lot from your squad. So I'm intrigued to see what they're doing. Plus, don't forget your head coach. You have a new head coach, so everything is new. I mean, you got Lindsay Allen back, okay. Tina Charles is going back there. Diamond DeShields, she's definitely she's over there. Mabry. So you do have some
Rivers.
You have Sanaya Rivers. I think
Okay. Yeah, Sanaya Rivers got drafted.
let me see. You have first round draft pick J.C. Sheldon, Leah Lakan, Anissa Morrow, and Sanaya Rivers. So,
Okay.
they have some youth in there along with some of the veterans. So it's
Mhm.
just a matter of, can those veterans get the young players together, and, can you go from there? So, um, we're going to touch on the Fever in a second. So, but what's your thoughts quickly in reference to Kay? What's your thoughts on Connecticut?
Connecticut. Yeah, that's going to be another team that's going to be in flux. Like I said, with that turnover, man, you lose the heart and soul of your team with Alyssa Thomas, man. To do everything defensive, dynamo. Dewana Bonner's gone. You know what I'm saying? Another vet, like I said, Carrington, the dog. You know what I'm saying? That was running that offense and stuff like that. So now there's going to be new leadership. Yeah, you got Tina Charles, you got Anissa Morrow, the rookie, and stuff like that. Sanaya Rivers and stuff like that, but it's going to be a learning, for them. They're the team's not going to make the playoffs this year, you know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, because of the turnover, you know what I'm saying? So they're going to have to get their act together at some point. And I want to see how it's going to be, like what's going to be their starting lineup when they do start. Is going to be Sanaya Rivers going to start, and things like that. I know Tina Charles, but most likely is going to start. And, Anissa Morrow probably like that. But I don't know what their starting lineup is going to be. And they got a new coach, right? They got a new coach.
Here's the projected. It's Lindsay Allen, Mabry, the Shields, Charles, and Olivia Nelson Ododa.
Okay, yeah. Like I said, yeah, they're gonna miss out on the playoffs, man. So it's gonna be another. But who knows? Maybe they might be setting up to get that number one pick too. You just never know, man. So, but yeah, I'm not too high on the Sun this year and stuff like that. I have to see. They're gonna have to show it to me and prove it to me. And like I said, losing Alyssa Thomas is a big loss.
What about you, Leaf? What's your thoughts about Connecticut?
I just looked at that lineup, and I definitely have to co-sign everything that Cave just said. They taking steps backwards. There's no way that this team is top three in the league by the end of this year. You lost Alyssa Thomas and you lost DJ Carrington. You got Tina Charles, who I thought was retiring this time a year ago. And I don't know what the reserves are. Lindsay Allen, I guess, I don't know. It just seems like they taking a whole bunch of steps backwards, and they like, all right, let's do something else. Let's rebuild. Let's start the rebuild. They looking like the Nets. I ain't gonna lie to you. This is just ridiculous.
Well, always remember one thing. This year it's probably going to be 5 teams that don't make the playoffs. So they're probably going to be on the back end of the making the playoffs. So. They
probably might be where the Valkyries is, man. Like by the end of this is not cutting mustard
the Valkyries.
This is I'm like, you got Marina Mabry as your starter, bro. Like that. I mean, listen, she's a good enough shooter, bro. I mean, but I don't know. I look at her as a bench piece to a playoff team, to a contending team or something like that. I don't really see her starting on a top team that just finished top 3 and they supposed to rewrite that the following season. I just don't see it, man. I'm not looking forward to anything with this franchise at all.
Well, I will say this. All right, she was the key and the glue to Chicago last year. They were fighting and they were feisty and they were playing well in the beginning, but after that trade, that's when it started to go downhill for them, because she also can shoot the 3, which opened up the spacing for Chicago. So that's something that you want to keep an eye on with them and what she brings. She's gritty. She's a Jersey girl. So she brings that grit from the Jersey Shore to the W. So now you made an excellent point, because when she was with Connecticut, there were times where she was coming off of the bench, and then there were times she was starting. So I can agree with you there. She's a good 6th player coming off of the bench. So, but yeah. And for your boy Herb, we're going to talk a little bit about Indiana. And in this article, one of the questions that it asks is where was it? I'm sorry, I was on the Sun. Are the Fever championship contenders? It says they've gotten closer with a new brain trust, bringing Stephanie White back. They picked up a Bonner. They have Natasha Howard. Sophia Cunningham, was added to the mix. So, and then on their roster, who did they draft? I forgot who they drafted. Oh no, that's right. They didn't have a first round draft pick.
Right.
They ended up with a second round draft pick. Yeah, they have Sydney Colston, Natasha Howard, Lexi Hull, Kelsey Mitchell, Michaela Thompson, Brianna Turner. So they have some talent there, but are they championship contention?
No, it's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a while. I think.
Go ahead, Lee.
I think they I don't know exactly the pieces that they need. I think what they have going forward is definitely good. What they were able to do last year, finished exactly at 500 with a 20-20 record. That's a team that's been immensely followed, probably by a lot of people that follow the WNBA. But at the same time, a lot of things need to get better. The turnovers got to decrease by Caitlin Clark. I think Caitlin Clark is learning how to play the professional game. She's picking it up a lot faster than a lot of people thought she would. A lot of people thought she was going to fizzle out and get covered up and get rattled and everything. I thought she held her own for the most part. She done it as good as a rookie can do. I think she's going to get better. Her and Aaliyah Boston is forming that chain link, and they starting to link together. I think it's up to the Kelsey Mitchells and the other players of this team to fit in and do their part. But
it's a starting five, just to give you a little update. DeWanna Bonner, Aaliyah Boston, Caitlin Clark, Natasha Howard, and Kelsey Mitchell. That is a formidable starting five.
Mm-hmm.
That is formidable. So you can't sleep on that. But you know what?
DeWanna Bonner, who I like, actually. I'm very much liking her. I think she brings a certain amount of toughness to the team.
Yeah.
Very, very much needed toughness to the team. Aaliyah Boston, a lot of people was trying her last year. You know what I'm saying? And I think she was kind of being a little she was being nice about it. But I think DeWanna Bonner, that's going to be some more of the toughness to be all right, that you don't mess with her and you mess with me. You know what I'm saying? That's one of those type of players. I think that's I don't know.
I gotta say that's respect. If you're trying, you're trying. I'll give you that. But
wait, man. Please, are you having the one leg thing at the park too? The one leg.
Stop, Irv. Stop. Be out here just trolling around. To stay on Indiana, I think they're gonna be better. They're gonna be a little bit better than they was last year. I definitely give them. I would definitely say over 5. Not at
He's serious. He's serious. Okay. Well,
you got problems, bro. You got
to look. Indiana is not in championship contention. I mean, because when you look at New York, here's the thing: Atlanta. You got to respect what Atlanta has done and what they're bringing back, especially with Brianna Jones, as well as I'm forgetting what's her name from
Ryan
Phoenix.
Howard, Griner.
Brittany Griner, along with Ryan Howard and what's her name, who won the 3-point contest this year?
Alicia Gray.
Yeah, Alicia Gray. They, I put them in championship contention over Indiana right now. You still have Minnesota. Seattle is one that you definitely have to respect. Don't forget the Aces. So for them, they had, of course, we have the Liberty. They have a lot of teams in front of them right now to say that they're in championship contention. Can they go? Can they make some noise? Yes, they can. But like Leaf said, it's going to be about their bench. It's really going to be about their bench and what they get from their bench. If we look at the Liberty, we can sit here and say we're not worrying about the bench. We love Kayla, we lost Benijah.
Yeah,
but when you look at it, I mean,
We
You
lost
got-
old girl to the Valkyries too. We had to give her.
Yeah, Kayla. That's Kayla Thornton.
Kayla, yeah.
That's Kayla Thornton. But now we just brought Marie Johannes back.
Natasha Cloud.
Natasha Cloud. Look at what you just did there. So that helps the starting five. And then whenever Benijah comes back, Benijah can come off the bench or she can start. You know, so it just helps the bench. My point being is Indiana, they can make some noise. I'm not going to sit here and say they can't, but to be in serious playoff championship contention, they're not there right now for me. So we play real basketball. I'm like I said that Irv for so many years. I love the WNBA. They're so fundamentally sound. Yeah, I can't wait for it to stop also. So bros, I'm watching New York Knicks today. No problem, bro.
He working all of us.
Yeah, he's working everything. So, but you know what? We spent a lot of time here on training camp, and a little bit of the rosters. We touched on Golden State. So actually, I'm gonna talk a little bit about our Liberty. All right, it's a new start with them. You know, a new mentality. You know, they opened up, you know, recently. So, you know, the only repeat champion in the past 2 decades in the W has been the Las Vegas Aces. So think about that, 20 years. So can New York do that? And I think it was, who said this? The mentality is turning the page, knowing what we did last year. We had a lot of time to celebrate it, and now it's building to be better, which is so true. True. So, you know, Stewie said that. You know, they have most of the core back, you know, from last year, which, you know, I'm very pleased with. You know, when you sit down and you look at it, we even drafted a player that we could stash in the 3rd round. She's overseas. We got Kennedy Burke back. Let me see. Marquisha Davis is back. Neona Phoebus, who I love. Sabrina. I'm saying Marie is a returning vet, so she just didn't play last year. John Quell. You know.
What do you got as the projected starter since Vandersloot left? Who's the projected starters? Gotta be Phoebus might be in there, right?
Yeah, I think it's Phoebus. I think it's here it is. Cloud, Sabrina, Phoebus, Brianna, and John Quell.
Okay, Natasha Cloud. Yeah. Toughness.
Yes. So, you know, and then when you add in the new players, Rachel Carrera, Natasha Cloud, Rebecca Gardner is someone I'm going to keep an eye on. Isabel Harrison from Tennessee, who's been out for a while. She brings a difference to the game. I forgot about my girl, Naira. You know, Jalen Sherrod, you know, feisty little point guard. We have depth. We have good starting five. So, you know, you play good fundamental basketball. You can play inside out. You play good defense with them. So last year, one of the things I noticed that teams were getting physical with them. And once they adjusted to that, they brought that physicality back right at you. So they can play physically with you. So you can't sit here and say they're going to be an easy walk. Playing New York. So go ahead, Leaf. You got it, man.
I want to say, if I didn't already, shout out to Nayara Sabali and Lainey Hamilton, because they showed up in big time moments. I thought we were supposed to sweep the Lynx. We ended up getting it done in 5. I thought it was supposed to be Roman, but they ended up coming up big time. The minutes that they played in that game 5, and y'all can check that out on my channel. That's on my YouTube channel. I did that whole entire game 5, man. That was one of the biggest moments in the franchise history. But I definitely think they can get back there for sure. Listen, one thing for sure, 2 things for certain. I would like Sabrina and Stewie to play 10 times much better than they played.
Yes.
In that finals. That was absolutely horrific that they were able to play that way, and we were able to get that win, and we were able to get the grant, and we were able to get the title. I don't know how long. I don't know if that's ever going to happen again. We cannot have them playing that way, and that happens again. There's no way that happens. Jaquel Jones, I like that she's expanded her game, but Love, I need you back down in that post. I need you back down underneath that basket. I need you commanding attention, and I understand.
We lost him. He'll be back in a second. What's your thoughts, Lee, for any reference to New York?
Oh yeah, to New York, like I said, man. Hey, losing Benaja is a big loss, and also Kayla Thornton, man. But we replaced her with Natasha Cloud, man. You know, and Phoebus, like I said, Phoebus gonna take another step this year, man. That's gonna be another good thing with us, man. So go ahead, Leaf.
Yeah, but I think we definitely have the bench to get back there. I'm liking that Phoebus is possibly going to be in the start lineup. She showed up defensively, good defensive presence. You know who she remind me of? She remind me of AK-47 from the Utah Jazz. She remind me of AK-47 from the Utah Jazz. That's what she remind me of. I get a lot of those vibes from her. Very defensive oriented, could get some steals, get her hands in the passing lanes, and can defend very well. So Lainey Hamilton, that's my girl. She showed up big with the shooting last year. This team can definitely get back there. The competition is probably going to be steep because probably this time next year we might see the Aces again. We might see Minnesota again, and they're going to be a word. Okay, and I'm not taking Minnesota lightly at all because I think we're supposed to sweep them. And but it's definitely show that Nafisa is definitely ready for war. But the Liberty could definitely run it back to back, and they could run it back to back here in Brooklyn, in my backyard, man. And I could go 20 minutes and go see it. So I'm proud of that.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Kay. Finish what you were saying about it.
Man. Like I said, I'm happy with Phoebus. Like, she's going to take a step this year, man, to offset the loss of Benaja, man. You know, big loss for us. But, hey, like I said, Natasha Cloud, that was a big get for the Liberty, man. I didn't even know that was available. I didn't even know she was available, you know. So that's a great, you know what I'm saying, somebody like that. And like I said, John Quell, Stewie, you know, it's like, yo, it's great when you win a championship now. Everybody got that feel. They got that experience, even the bench players. So now they know what to expect. So we got all this experience. That's another thing in the playoffs is experience. You need that experience, you know, and then you come back with the same coach. So everything is running the back, man. That's a great thing, man. Like I said, all we got to do is just like protect the home court, man. Keep playing with doing what we're doing, man. And hey, everything should be right for us, man. Like I said, last year we was the hunter. Now we the hunted. Hey, like I said, we got a big bullseye on our back. Let's just keep it going, man. Sabrina, like I said, like Leaf said, man, I expect Sabrina to play a little bit better this season. I'm not to say she played bad, but it's just like in the big games, hey, them shots just got to be falling. Man. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, everything will work its way out. But like I said, now she'll be the point guard full time now compared to like when Vandersloot was there. You know what I'm saying? So she'll be at the point with in the backcourt. I guess it'll be Phoebus in the backcourt with her. So
no, yeah. Cloud, Natasha Cloud.
Oh, Cloud. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, man. So like I said, yeah, I expect good things, man. We brought back everybody. We run in the back. That's all I care about. We run in the back. We ain't lose too much. Like I said, and we did gain some that we did lose. So I'm good with that, man.
Well, you know what? One of the things that I've been watching, you know, ever since they put this squad together is their progression. You know, the first year we lost to the Aces, but we had just come together. Last year, you saw, you know, it was a year under. Everybody was comfortable, and now everyone knows what they need to do. So can you win the back-to-back? Can you give us that back-to-back? Because we have been, you know, look, for so many years, I've been Liberty fan since day one, and I've seen all the championships. So yes, this took the monkey off the back. So can they relax? You know, one of the key persons that I'm intrigued to see is, can we get more out of her? Is actually Naira Sabli. I mean, you know, that's someone I want. She played for Phoebus in Germany. She played with Sabrina in college. She was a big time player at Oregon. So, you know, she came here and played her role. But now I want to see a little bit more from her, not just doing the dirty work, but expanding your scoring game. You know, because that's something. Because if you can get that from her, there's going to be times where you can give Stewie a blow and put her in the front line with John Quell. And those two big bodies, remember I was talking about Chicago earlier with their rebounding. Now you can combat them in that regard, and to go out and get the rebound. So and to play defensively and match up to their big size. And other teams that want to play a little bit bigger, like Atlanta, if they play, Griner and Jones at the same time. Now you can match up, and that's the thing that I like about this team, because we can mix and match. You can play conventional, you can go small, because you can play Stewie at the 5. You can play big, like I just said. Heck, you can Sabrina, and you can Speedish at one shooting guard. If you want to bring in what's her name? I was just thinking about her. Kennedy Burke, adds a small forward. With Nyara and Jonquel. Now that's really pounding the boards and really getting physical and offensively forcing teams to do things. You don't lose much 3-point shooting, but this team gives you so much versatility. So I really like it. I really am intrigued. I'm excited for this season for what we can do to make a run. So yeah, go ahead, Leaf.
All in all, I was reading a little bit more. They said Lainey Hamilton is she's probably going to be sidelined with a meniscus injury.
Yeah,
she's out for the season. She's out most of the season.
Either she'll be back late in the season, right before the playoffs, or she's out for the season. And then to start the season, Brianna also right after the Unrivaled, she had a little knee surgery. So like right now, she's not doing much. But she'll be fine by the time the season starts. So I don't want to see you push her right now. She knows what to do. So
right,
yeah. But
definitely for what you were saying about Naira Sabali, it seemed like she's gonna have to get some minutes, for sure, because with a couple of injuries to the roster, and she definitely gonna have to play for sure. Cloud, I like Cloud. I like who else we got? Marine Johannes. I like this team. I like this team. They definitely miss and match a lot, and it's definitely going to be important to see how they move forward. Because Lainey Hamilton was a big deal for that team, for that team in the finals. And Nahara was too. I'm not taking away Nahara. Nahara was one of the reasons why we won that game in the first place. Because she came in and added some big time spark in that second half. Yes, Burke did as well. But so Sabali, who wasn't playing most of the year, when she came in, she got that spark. That changed the whole tide of the game. The energy in the building was different. The energy on the team was different. We got dirty on the boards, got some putbacks, and we was able to get the title up. It's gonna be a rough rocky ride, because like you said, we are definitely the hunted for sure.
Right.
This ain't no doubt about it, because the Aces, Asia Wilson is gonna get them girls right. I expect Nafisa to do the same. I think Nafisa is the second best player in the league. But Stewie, I think if we could get another MVP type of year from Stewie and another solid year from Sabrina, we cooking with grease.
No, I agree with you. Totally agree with you. Breezy, NYG moved it to Wednesday, so that's what's happening. So, well, it'll be back on. It'll be rocking and rolling on Wednesdays, bro. So no worries. We're still here. So, but yeah, that's one of the things that I love about this W, man. And when we sit back and you sit down and you look at it, the level of competition, the talent, the expansion, and it's not taking away from the game itself. So I really am excited for the W. It's my number 2 sport behind college football, man. Honestly, it really is. I when it comes up to the W, it's like, you know what? I know the NBA is just closing down, but you know what? Whatever. Go ahead, y'all have your fun. I'll watch the W.
Right.
That to me, bro. I've always appreciated the women's game, but you know what? This actually, because I was talking to a friend and he asked me why, and I thought about it. I got like this in high school. because in high school we had a dominant girls basketball team, and we always supported it, and it's always been there. And then when you brought the WNBA, and we had a team right here in the tri-state, it was just like, and that team was just, with Teaspoon and Vicky Johnson and everyone. So I could just talk about them for days, but that's going to be it this week, man. I want to thank everyone for tapping in. It's been a phenomenal show today. Thank you for Breezy for being here. Irvin for being here. Who else am I forgetting?
Shout out to Irv. Shout out to my man Danny B. Danny B. Sports, man. Shout out to my man Scott, the apartment gamer.
Okay, exactly.
Shout out to
Rainer, our cool. Thank you all for being there. Leaf, thank you for tapping in. We definitely got to have you in here some more often, man.
Of course, man.
Definitely.
Yeah, man, thanks for subbing me in the game, coach. Man, put me in the game.
Put me in, coach.
Yeah.
Coach.
He said 6 men off the bench. He's right up. He's first off the bench.
Yeah, man. I got somebody got to score 30. Might as well be me.
There you go. So Cave, as always, my man. Next shift, bro. I know. He's dealing with some things, but he'll be back soon. So you got an all-star squad right here. Talking to WNBA. And as the season goes on, it's going to be intense. We might be able to stream a game or two here or there. I know I didn't really get into the preseason, because it's preseason, man. You can pull up the schedule and take a look. Just to touch on it, the first game is next Friday. The second, it's this Friday. Dallas is at Vegas. It's on Ion, and Brazil is at Chicago at 7 and 9 o'clock. So I was probably going to look at the Brazil because that's where Cardoso is from. So I get it. So
right.
So, but
shout out to all the Camila Cardoso fans too, bro, and Camila Cardoso. So, and also want to give my condolences to Kevin Love. Stan Love passed away yesterday. His father at the age of 76. Stan Love used to play for the Los Angeles Lakers back in the day. Stan Love was one of those dirty work guys in the ABA too, bro. A lot of his ABA stuff a lot of people don't know about. So I learned that from my father, man. So he put me on like a lot of the ABA stuff because he was a big ABA fan. He was Dr. J was his guy. So
exactly.
Definitely want to give a condolences to Mr. Kevin Love and his family, and RIP to the late great Stan Love, man. Best wishes.
All right. So, Cave, anything in closing before we get out of here?
Yeah, man. Great show, man. As always, man. Leaf, man. Thank you, bro, for coming on, man. Giving your expertise, man. Your opinions and analysis, man. Same thing with you, Coach, man. As we always do, man. With these WNBA, got to show these ladies some love. Because if we don't do it, who will? You know what I'm saying? So let's continue to do it, man, and just keep doing it. And hey, helping them grow their profession, just like the TV deals and everything coming and all the expansion coming. So hey, listen, we're gonna be right at the forefront with them. We're gonna grow as they grow. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good thing. You're gonna have more people tuning in because more people gonna be interested in the WNBA. So it's nothing like the ladies game, like I said, college and professional, man. And now with this Unrivaled League, it's getting even better and better, man. So hey, I'm glad to talk about it, man. This ain't your average ladies growing up back in the day, man. Girls couldn't play. These girls can play. These girls can ball.
That's the
you know what I'm saying?
And they're a lot easier on the eyes too, bro. Like that. For sure.
Yes, sir.
So definitely shout out to the women's game. You can't forget the college women's game too, man, because that's how we got here, man. Shout out to them girls. It was a great year for college basketball. Definitely wishing a speedy recovery for Miss Juju Watkins, for sure. And Coach, appreciate you subbing me in, man.
Always, man. I appreciate you, Coach. You'll be here more often. Trust me, we're gonna talk more.
And also, man, y'all make sure y'all tap in with me in another half hour, man, doing Knicks and the Pistons basketball. I know a lot of people want to watch the Pistons to see what they're gonna do against the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? The haters, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna be in the droves, but it's all good. So let's see if the Knicks can close out in 5, man, at the Garden tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you tap into the Man Cave podcast. I'll be on in about a half hour, man. You know what I'm saying? Leaf will be right there too. You know, he'll be watching right along. You know,
I'm only.
No, you watching for the Pistons. You watching for the Pistons.
I'm not even watching for that because I know the series is over. The Pistons are just not that smart. A lot of people just didn't believe me. I told them the Pistons were just not that smart of a basketball team. They got a ways to go. When you got Timmy and Toby, bro, at your wings, bro, you can only go so far, bro. Like that ain't gonna help. That ain't gonna help you. So they ran up into a Knicks team that just knows how to close games better. That's all it is. But the Pistons, they just not that smart. Once the Tangerines play, yeah, they're not ready. They're not ready yet, man. Once the Tangerines play a smarter team, we're gonna see what I already know. So that's all it is. But
all right, well, we're gonna get out of here. All right, so we're gonna get out of here. Thanks for everyone. We'll catch everyone next week. So thanks a lot, and everyone be safe. Have a great night. Peace.
All right. Peace.
Full court, we roll. Game on, take control. Full court, we roll. Game on, take control. Randy in the mix, you know it's a fix. Coach Ed rips, strategies to blitz. Man-Cave vibes, never throwing it down. Fast breaks and swerves, rhythms in town. City lights shining, crowd on the rise. East Coast beat, feel the verse surprise. Dribbling dreams, hustle hard, no regrets. Welcome to the court, it's your move, place bets. Neck diff Randy got the crowd so hyped. Coach that guy and every play's in sight. From the block to the three, every shot's on point. Man-Cave energy, we ain't gonna disappoint.
All that I know, really, I feel tipsy and you better use it until we get bothered.